Oh, so my kid did the, like, you know that classic trick that you play on kids? You whenever you go to leave, like you got like, they're gonna do like
That you had you you could you do you want you could do so you do you want him to do you so much you could do anything.
you know that they're just pretending to be asleep or whatever, and so you closed the door while you're still in there and made it seem like you left the room, and then they get up from their fake sleep and you're standing there.
Yes. Yes.
My son tried to do that to me this morning. I was laying in bed and he got up, got out of bed, opened his door, and was standing at the gate crying, waiting on waiting on us to trying to get us to go get him, yeah. And but he needed to go back to sleep. So we just didn't go in there to him. And he's sitting there and all of a sudden he stops crying. And then poof, the door closes. And I'm like, okay, he went back to bed. And I was just about to get up and come in here. And he starts crying again, and he had never moved from the baby gate. He just turned around and closed his door.
That is hilarious. That's funny. That is definitely your child. I don't think I don't think any of the three girls would ever think quite like that at that age. That's funny.
So I will say this though. Like, I know he's a really smart kid and does a bunch of really smart things. And everyone else knows that he's a really smart kid and does a bunch of really smart things. However, he there's a bunch of stuff that he does that there's a bunch of stuff that he does that doesn't, like, people talk about how fantastic and smart he is, but then they said, and look, he's so smart he even does this. And they're like, oh, well, that doesn't seem like a particularly, that one thing. I mean, he's a super smart kid, but that thing, I don't see why you'd use that as your example. Like Brooke's grandma one time said, Brooke, do you realize how smart your kid is? And we'd already known he was super smart, does all the super smart things. It's like, well, here's what he just did. He wanted to go to Papa, and I was sitting here and I had my feet up on the table. Said, and instead of trying like to plow through, most babies would have tried to just plow through my legs to get there, but he started to walk over, saw my feet there, went to the table, and walked around the table to get to the other side of me to get to Papa. I was like, well, I mean,
I would have been more proud of the babies who would have plowed through the legs at that point.
yeah, it's like, I mean, if you're, that's not, that I didn't view that.
You'll never believe it. He saw he couldn't walk through, and then he didn't. Like, no. I was picking up on language relatively well. Like, she's doing... She got over a big hump in talking, and we're doing a lot of, like, words are coming pretty darn well. And I don't know, this is doing it better than Ren did, but probably quicker than Nozomi did. Nothing, like, really, really, really fast.
You haven't spawned in yet.
Things that she does... What did you say?
You haven't spawned in yet. There you are. You're here now.
Anything on console, I've read on this, by the way. The consoles load in much later than PCs do, which shouldn't come as a big shock to anybody, but still. But, yeah.
It shouldn't come as a shock, just an annoyance.
Words. Falling while we just started. It can't be that bad. Commentator, shut up.
Okay, there's a dude laying down with a right shield. Oh, come on. Yeah.
What an interesting way to say he's not interested in women.
Dang it. While trying to kill the right shield guy, another dude came up behind my butthole.
Right behind it. That's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Or, you know, could it be in front of my butthole? Like, behind me, but in front of the butthole, you know?
Oh, that's...
Like, what direction is the butthole facing?
I guess technically it is facing your back. So yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm done with that. I'm gonna get killed here. Not because I want to, but because, oh, well, I guess I can kill all of you. Oh my goodness, learn to shoot. Crap. I'm caught behind you. I had to stop for a grenade and had to get around it. You've got a bunch of people that are gonna be spawning not far from where you're running to, so be aware of that.
Okay.
Oh no, you're going towards the middle. I don't know what's up there. I thought you were doing the perimeter. I got the right shield guy. You're welcome. Saved your life. I don't know if this is my old age or what, but I found a way to always make myself poop if needed. So we have a pretty nice coffee machine. It was a gift from a friend. It's one of those Ninja coffee makers that does all kinds of random crap, and it's fun. And one of the things it does is, if you click on the specialty option, it makes not what I'd call a really good shot of espresso, because you have to, like, you know, compress it the way that you compress it in the espresso machine and in the cup and all that kind of crap. But it does as good of a job as I can imagine, you know, ever making espresso just in like a regular thing with a coffee filter. And it tastes pretty good. So what I do when I make my drinks in the morning is I just make it, it's essentially a shot and a half of espresso, and I do equal parts espresso, and then if I'm using a creamer, whatever. And, or not quite equal parts, but close. And that's what I drink in the morning because it tastes good and it gets me woken up. But I've also noticed that now that I'm older, this is a perfect recipe for immediately having to poop. Like, if I'm ever concerned about, like, wow, I didn't poop very much yesterday, I should probably address that. I'm gonna go get a cup of this coffee, and then I'm definitely gonna need access to the restroom. And then people always make jokes about coffee, like, oh, it makes me have to poop. If I drink a cup of coffee, I might, like, get gassy. But, like, this stuff is like, hey, now that you've done this, here's the only option for the next 20 minutes of your day.
Maybe something I'll have to look into.
It works. Well, you are the king of constipation. At least you were in your earlier days.
So it wasn't constipation. I just chose to only go to the bathroom once every couple days. Because I wanted to spend hours and hours in there.
Well, also, I mean, like, it's worth remembering for those watching along at home, when we had to spend that much time, because when you get naked to use the bathroom.
Yes.
I mean, that's a few minutes before and after of maintenance time right there.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it constantly all the time.
Yeah, like, if you've only got 5 minutes, I'm not going to spend 2 of those minutes undressing and dressing back up again. That's just not efficient.
I have to assume that was an autistic thing, because I honestly did that into my early 20s.
I don't think... I'm trying to remember how old. I don't know if it's an autism thing.
Well,
I'm not saying it's not, but I don't know.
Well, because that's the only... Because I had very specific bathroom rituals that were only possible without clothes on, and this sounds like it's a strange ritual. It wasn't. It's just... My wiping technique required no clothes on.
Range of motion.
Huh?
Did you get its big sweeping arc?
No, I had this way of poisoning myself, but it required me to drop the toilet paper straight down, and that would have because the way that I wound up sitting, it would have got on my clothes.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so
I'm
because
less knocking it and more just being a visual person who doesn't want a visual. I think I'm just over it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I don't think I realized some of my things. You know when you do something that you think is completely normal just because you've always done it,
Mm-hmm.
and then somehow it manages to come up in conversation, and you tell it to someone and they go, "What in the world is wrong with you?" And you realize, "Oh, that's the Asperger's."
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, like, as I became an adult, I don't think I talked about this to a single human being until I was in my mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't remember what I was doing. I was walking. No, I was training someone. I might have been training Ellie actually,
Mm-hmm.
at Sherwin-Williams. And I remember
Oh, so you're
I
still
was
training
walking.
Ellie?
Well, you know, and I was walking through there, and you know how tile looks on floor. Like so much of it's one color and so much of it's another color, and it's broke up into different sections. And instead, I wait for a pattern.
Yes, I've seen it before.
Yeah, you know, floors. And I was walking, and I was walking through as I was talking to her, and I took a few steps that were just kind of off, and she goes, "What was that?" I said, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Well, you were walking in a straight line, and then you took a step kind of half off to the side, and then back again, and you kept walking." I was like, "Oh, I have to take the same number of steps in each color on the floor." And she was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know, like when you're walking around." She's like, "Well, you don't have." She was like, "I don't do that." I'm like, "Oh, okay." She goes, "What happens if you don't?" I'm like, "I don't want to know." I don't want to know what happens if I don't. And I still walk in front of, like, you know, when you're in any kind of a room or a doorway, and then because of the way it comes out and is cut off, there's like a sharp point.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't walk in front of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
the line that angle would create, I don't walk in front. I don't take a step. I have to walk in front of it, but I don't step directly in that line. I have to step over where that line is. I don't step on that line.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is
And like
this?
if I'm barefoot, like if I'm walking somewhere,
Yeah.
especially if I'm barefoot, it's worse if I'm barefoot, and I
Mhm.
step on a rug, and then my next step is off of that rug. I have to take a step back and put my other foot on that rug so that both of my feet feel what that felt like, or I'll freak out.
Okay, so my thing is I avoid, like, if I'm in a room and there are right angles anywhere, if those angles meet from two flat planes, or it's two flat planes together that form that angle, I'm okay with it. But I have to avoid the angle if those angles are formed with the two planes that meet instead of being flat planes. If they are concave or convex planes, and then they meet at right angles, I have to avoid them.
Yeah.
But that's just because I'm afraid of non-Euclidean angles.
Well, you know, you saw what happened last time someone did that in some other dimension.
No, my tile rituals are, as far as I know, different from everyone else's. I've never met anyone else who has tile rituals quite like mine. I was not expecting that.
Did you say tile rituals?
Yeah, like floor tile. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's this. I am I cannot break the grout with my feet. I can't do it. Grout? It's called a grout, isn't it? Yeah, grout. I can't
grout.
I can't break the grout with my feet. And so my entire foot has to fit within the tile.
Yes. Absolutely.
Unless it is an extremely large tile. This usually only happens with concrete. That I'll have tiles this large to worry about. But, and when this does happen, and I have the extra large tiles to worry about, the corners of the tile form straight planes. So it basically divides the square of the tile into 3 triangles. And now those 3 triangles, of course, have imaginary planes, and I can't break those planes with my feet.
Mm-hmm. No, I wish I could say I don't know what you're talking about, so I'd seem less weird, but absolutely. it's so strange to think about. Like, that just seems so normal. And then when you hear someone else go, "Yeah, that's what I do," I'm like, "Yeah, of course, that's what I do as well. It's not a big deal. What's weird with that?" I've told that.
What else would you do?
Like all the other normal stuff. Got it. But like, it's so funny because it just seems like that's like a way of life, and that's such a dramatic way of phrasing it. I realize, but I mean, it just is. That's how I walk around all the time as a 32-year-old man. That is how I walk around. And like, if I tell someone that, because I have, like, after I told Ellie, I talked to a bunch of people about it. Can't phrase that. And they're all like, "You're out of your mind." Like, not a single person heard me say that, and they were like, "Yeah, man, totally." Not one human being. I mean, other than you, but you're not a person, so it doesn't count.
Yeah. Man, the guy in second place got up there accidentally.
Accidentally?
Yeah. I have to assume so anyway.
Well, you know.
Because of his name.
Yeah. 1946. Whatever happened in 1946?
No, it was 1948. I remembered the joke, but then my mind was honestly thinking what happened in 1946.
I'm also trying to think of what happened in 1946, actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah, my mind wanted to say Israel, but that was 1948, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What happened in 1946?
The touchdown of the last Jets of the Jews coming back to Israel? I believe that was 1948.
1946.
Are you Googling?
No. Is that when the Soviets, joined World War, like the bombing of Stalingrad and the Russians joining?
Surely not. Hold on. That'd be really funny though.
It was late enough in the war. Because the war ended in 1945, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Tupperware was invented. That's what it was. I will say I hope it's this, because it was Winston Churchill's Iron Curtain speech, so that would be awesome if that's what it was for.
Yeah.
Oh, UNICEF was created. Let's go. Casablanca? More like Casa Blanks, because you can't kill me.
Oh, actually, here's a thought too. So Japan surrendered in December of 1945, right? So 1946 was like the first peaceful year.
Maybe? That's kind of lame.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully that's not it. I'm trying to think of what it could be. What, baby?
Oh, dang it. I was waiting on my pump action to cycle. I have a semi-auto shotgun.
That's absolutely not true.
What?
Hold on 1 second, Sean. Say what you just said a little bit louder so Sean can hear.
We were doing something at school last year, and it was about it was on social science about World War II. I don't know about that. And then so I came up on the fun fact that says Russia and Japan still haven't signed the World War II papers. So technically it's still going on, but they're not fighting.
In case you couldn't hear, what Lynn said was, so that's, I want to say that's absolutely not the case, but I don't remember. What battleship? There's a battleship that they met on to sign the preliminary stuff, or to like accept surrenders, but I guess I don't know that, one way or the other.
So there are a couple answers that are part of that. Like, for one thing, there's like, so they're thinking of the Treaty of Versailles, which is the treaty that it's not the treaty that ended the war. It's basically the treaty of like, hey, we're done fighting, we're not doing that anymore. And I believe it's true they didn't. Neither of them did sign that, but we did get unconditional terms of we did get terms of absolute surrender from Japan which had to, by default, end their involvement in the war, so they weren't part of the war. And Russia, there was never an official declaration of war on Germany from Russia, so technically Russia was never actually part of the war. They were just killing Germans. So, like, even though, like, so even though those two, they did never sign the Treaty of Versailles, but the treaty had nothing to do with the ending of the war, though. It's just after the war was over, the treaty was signed for, hey, no, we're not doing this anymore.
Basically, everyone got together and said, hey, remember a handful of years ago when we absolutely screwed over the Germans with our war agreements? What if we did it again? Everybody's like, yeah, let's do that. Also, I don't think they focus enough because I don't think I learned this until actually I played one of the World War II Call of Duty games, and I remember going through, like, you have like missions where you play different stuff, whatever, and they were showing like all the stuff that the Russians were doing, and I read I'd read the history books before to know that this was what happened, but I don't think anyone really focuses enough on how actually gangster the Russians were.
Oh yeah, the like, that's something that I've never read in any school history book.
Yeah, which is insane to me.
Russia won the European front.
Yeah, no,
that was Russia. What we did was we held off the Germans until Russia showed up.
Yeah, it was essentially like, what if we started going back on our word and going in and trying to take over Russia? And Russia's like, how about F you?
Oh, fun fact. Did you know why Napoleon couldn't conquer Russia?
The winter.
Do you know why the winter screwed him up so much?
There must be a specific you're talking about, because I remember the Napoleonic Wars, but I don't remember a specific thing.
Yeah, see, they could have handled the cold, right? You know, they knew it was going to be cold, and they brought very warm clothes. But what they didn't know, because they'd never been in that environment before, what they didn't know is that tin becomes malleable when it's super cold, and all their uniforms had tin buttons, and their clothes were falling off.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Saying it French again. Jean-Claude, this is not the time. It's crazy to me. No, I mean, everyone always likes to say, because obviously we look at Hitler and we're like, wow, only a deranged man. Yeah, I get it. But and that's true. But the funny thing is, if Hitler would not have pushed his luck on the Russian front and not have been absolutely just insane in his lack of strategy, we would be speaking German right now.
That's half true.
I don't think, half true because we probably won't be speaking as a second language.
Well, no, half true because he wouldn't have wound up. Because if you look at what he was doing, right, with his resources and where he was going and what he was doing, he would have lost the war, because we were, you know, slowly pushing them back, and he was devoting zero resources, all just about, to continuing the war effort. Almost everything he was doing was still going up to just continue creating chaos, where like in and around Germany, doing that stuff. So he wasn't devoting nearly enough resources to the war to win the war. And so he still would have lost, just would have taken a lot longer and at a much greater cost.
So here's the thing. I'll explain myself a little bit fuller, because I do actually believe this very strongly. It's not specifically, it's just because of Russia. What it is he completely quit listening to his military advisors in the too early on, and then his military advisors quit advising him properly because of the way he was handling himself. But it was specifically because of that, because they were like, all right, fine, screw you, we're not going to do this anymore.
Well,
who can blame them? But
yeah,
I mean,
that does lead into my answer, though, the thing that I said, because he did completely stop devoting resources to that, and that was so I didn't realize the point you were getting at, but we were saying the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, eventually, what would have happened is if he would have listened to the people that knew what they were talking about.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I agree with you.
They would have felt, and they would have felt valued and heard, and they would have kept, telling him things. I don't think there's a scenario. Well, there's a scenario, but I don't think there's much of a chance that Germany would have lost. I really don't.
I'll go along with that.
But it is crazy. It's crazy to think about, like, oh my goodness, are we going to get political on a gaming stream? All right, here we go.
Well, we did last time.
We did last time.
Yeah.
So I think it's just inevitable. So you have a very interesting thing that no one really talks about. I'm not sure why. When you're looking at how you even get a Hitler. So I mean, it's not hard to have someone who's charismatic enough and a politician and I wouldn't say a war hero, but someone who's fought in a war previously, so with military experience. It's not hard to get that combination of things. But it's such an interesting thing to look back and go, how did we get Hitler? We got Hitler because you have a country in where the conservative and progressive sides are getting further and further away from each other to create less middle ground, to where you have only extreme left and extreme right, and you get it to where at some certain point the extreme left and the extreme help from the government that the left is providing seems to be the only answer, because we don't know what else to do. In this case, because of World War I, right? They have no real good. They don't have a good economy anymore because of all the money they're paying out for World War I reparations and everything. And you basically have someone who goes, "Give us all the control, and we will give you all the resources, and we'll fix everything." And everybody's like, "Yeah, I'm game with that. That sounds like a great idea." And this guy goes, "Great. I'm taking over every aspect of your life, and then I'm going to take your children and I'm going to indoctrinate them to where that the new line of people coming up have this ideology that I put forward." Which is how you have all these kids going off to the camps and coming back going like, the girl's going, "The greatest thing that I could possibly do for my country is to create another Aryan man." And you have those guys going, "The greatest thing I can do for my country is take over the rest of all the other countries for the glory of my country." And I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
We're doing that.
and also, you have to realize this too, though, how clever the people are that do that.
Incredibly clever.
Yeah, because, so, from the beginning, right, Hitler wanted to kill all the Jews. He wanted to do that from the beginning. Do you know how long it took him to start doing that from the time he came into power till he started killing Jews?
Yeah,
12 years.
A very long time. And it wasn't like it was like he didn't wake up one day and go, "You know what I can't stand?"
Yeah, that was his plan from the beginning, but no one would have went along with it 12 years earlier.
Yeah, it's not like he went into a deli one day and the guy was like, "That'd be 17 shekels," and he's like, "You've got to be kidding me! Screw it."
Oh crap! Oh, I about did a header off the edge. Sean, look, you need to stop doing this crap, man.
I went from 9-0 to 11-7, and there's so many people just camping out in places, and it's annoying me to death. That's weird. Someone's riot shield is sticking out of the back of the building, and I got mad that I saw that it was our guy, and I got madder.
Have you seen my video titled "SMGs are better"?
Okay, so I saw both of the videos that you put up, because it was you posted them back to back, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe I actually watched the SMGs are better one. You put that out second.
Yeah, well,
technically second, very close together, but second.
Actually, I think I may have. I don't remember, because I made them both private, waited for them both to be fully uploaded, and then I went live. And I actually think I did, because SMGs was on top, I think I did that one technically. I may have done it first. No, I didn't do it first, because I wanted them to be up in order.
I'll put it to you this way. I know when you release videos because it's on Discord.
Yeah.
I received a notification on that one on Discord after I already clicked on the other one, the sniper's video, and then I never had time to go back and look at that one. So no, I haven't seen that video.
Okay. Well, the the purpose of that one. See, so the purpose of the snipers are good, or snipers are fun, whichever one it's called, is to show how much fun it is to play with with a sniper when you're doing well with it. The purpose of the other video, the SMGs are better. That was rude.
Very, very not nice.
Yeah,
That was way more rude.
but the purpose of the SMGs are better video was to give
Go get there.
was to show how much easier it is to play with an SMG. So I played with a sniper for the first half of that match, and I wasn't doing well. So by the time the match was half over, I was 5-8. And then I switched to an SMG in the middle of the match. When the match was over, I was 22-11.
Jeez.
And that's...
I do the same thing, unfortunately. I don't know. I have way more fun doing anything with the sniper rifle, and I love quick scoping. It's all a great time, but
Yeah, I don't have as much fun sniping in this game as I did in Modern Warfare.
no, it's slower. The ADS is so slow in this game. Even with like the quickest loadout, you feel it drag so hard. Because we were complaining about Modern Warfare, because you had to really work and grind out a gun to get good ADS. And then in this game, like, the most ground out weapon is still slower than a base weapon of Modern Warfare, which is so annoying. Which I'm really hoping MW2 is gonna not have that problem.
So looking at it, it seems smooth and fast. Hey, this guy's name is Broken Arrow. That's a town near me. But it does seem smooth and fast, but also every movement has weight behind it. It looks really good. Like,
Say that again. No, I didn't catch the beginning of that. Are you talking about for
Modern Warfare
MW2?
2? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never played here before. Sorry, side note. Say that one more time, then, and I'll know what you're talking about now.
Okay. Modern Warfare 2. It's still very, very smooth, and it's not super fast. Like, you don't sprint as fast and stuff like that. But it's still a very smooth game. But it's not floaty like a lot of Call of Duty games have been. Everything has a lot of weight behind it, and it looks good.
So this feels more like probably more like Ghost then.
Yeah. The movement, from how, just watching people who played the beta, because I haven't played the early beta.
Obviously, neither have I.
Yeah. If you've pre-ordered the game, you can, because the early beta that was yesterday and today was for people on PlayStation who pre-ordered. So
I have to. Yeah, I saw that pop up. I have to do something about because I had pre-ordered too, because that was one that we. Those people at home listening, me and Sean don't buy a lot of games. Not a lot of AAA titles, anyways. We try to limit our AAA purchases every year to a certain amount because it's expensive, and that's, even if you have the money, it's just not a good idea to spend that much money on it. Whatever.
Save your life.
Thank you. This is one that we both agreed that we were going to get because we do a lot of it together. And I pre-ordered it, but my pre-order is currently my pre-order is currently canceled because I took all of the payment methods off of my account because I got hacked and all those payment methods were stolen. So they automatically cancel all your pre-orders when that happens.
Okay. So what? There's a payment method. It's the one that I have on my PlayStation, and it's one that it can never actually be canceled. I remove it from PlayStation and then I put it right back on, and that would be my PayPal.
See, that was the problem. That's why my situation got so scary, is because when someone, this is funny. It actually is really funny. I mean, get anyone who's ever. This is not the first time I've had some version of identity theft happened, and it's never funny necessarily because it's always scary when it happens.
But it's always funny right after, as long as you don't lose lots of money.
Yeah, he was lost money. So the first time I lost like $5,000, so that was not funny. This time it wasn't a lot of money. I got all the money back that I lost, and the scenario is funny, so we're gonna go with funny. But this person, they got in and they used my PayPal to purchase a game. So that my PayPal was connected, and I thought I had a step where you have to put in your password every time. Apparently, I didn't. But whatever, neither here nor there. So I had to take it all off. But Sean's already heard this story, but we'll tell it again on the record here. I got the notifications that someone was essentially, I can't remember the term, but it's essentially where you're getting your password. They basically throw thousands upon probably tens of thousands of combinations at a time at your account to try to see if something works. And basically I got like a hilarious amount of notifications at one time with my because I get a pin that's sent to my email whenever my account's trying to be logged into, or a request for passwords change or anything like that. So I got a ton of those at one time, and it was for my Gmail and for my PlayStation at the same time because they had the same email. Obviously my PlayStation account is set up with that email. And as I'm going in, like, oh, I should go in and change my password. So the first thing I did is I changed the password to my Gmail, because that's the most important one out of the two. So as I'm getting my Gmail password changed, I get another notification from PlayStation that two-factor authentication has been set up on my PlayStation account by someone else. So I'm locked out of my account. This person immediately sets up their PS5 as my primary PlayStation, as my primary PS5, purchases Demon Souls, starts playing the game, and then at that point I jump in and I've canceled my credit card to the bank because I see a purchase being made, and I make a few other steps, taking my payment methods off of my PayPal because that's what they were using, so they can't purchase anything else. Skip forward over all the boring parts. Not that most of that wasn't boring. To the end of the day where I get my PlayStation account back, my cart inside of it has Dark Souls 2 and the Hitman Club, my cart. And I'm just sitting here like, this guy hacked into my PlayStation to buy Demon Souls, which he, by the way, probably still has. Like, you can still technically, like, if you go offline, he can just keep playing Demon Souls on his PS5 now. And he was trying to get more Dark Souls games and the Hitman Collection. I'm just like, somewhere out there's an 18 or 19-year-old kid that is kind of a piece of crap, but I mean, like, what solid taste. Like, that's a solid collection. It's not like if you would have, like, got into my account and been like, can you get Roblox for PlayStation, then I'd probably be more mad.
Yeah. At least it wasn't Fortnite, I guess is what we're saying.
Yes, Fortnite, thankfully, is still never been on any of my devices, even after being hacked.
I actually did.
That was a terrible round for me.
I was awful. I actually did play a round or two of Fortnite, like, before it was known that it was awful. The animations in this game are so bad. Like, it's a fun game, but the animations are so bad.
Yeah. I think it wasn't the animations for me. There was something for me that was just really, really annoying that they were making a crappy PUBG clone.
No, this game, the current game, Vanguard.
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
Yeah, no, but no, and this was before it was known that it wasn't a fantastically fun game, and I played it then, and I didn't enjoy it, and so, like, it's my own experiences with it that caused me not to like it. But yeah, no.
Play it and I got angry. I'm like, there's no way I'm playing this game.
Yeah, but no, as it stands right now, I am actually precluded from playing Fortnite.
I don't know what that.
Tell the joke. I'm sure there's a joke here.
It's because as a married man with a child,
There we go.
I have actually engaged in intercourse with a woman, forever precluding me from playing Fortnite.
I have a friend. He's a grown man. He's older than me, and I'm not young. And he was still post clips of him playing Fortnite on Facebook. Now, mind you, he's not like a streamer to where like he's doing this to get, you know, some recognition and get some people to get on his stuff. Because whatever, like I can respect that. But no, he just post clip if he ever wins or if he ever does like a cool clip in Fortnite, he'll put it on Facebook. And I was like, bro, stop! Absolutely not.
Okay.
Apparently, makes me angry. All right, I've moved. I'm now. My back was hurting, so I'm sitting like leaning up against the bottom part of the L of my couch.
Whoa, there's a guy
now, and I'm down and below it. I quit joking. You're welcome. So I don't know if I'm going to do better or worse now in this position. I feel better, but
you look better.
Oh boy.
At least I have to assume. I can't see you, but I have to assume you look better. Any change, it has to be an improvement.
Well, we can't get worse from here.
Oh crap, dude! Everybody, they're all just creeping. Every last one of them. The ones that are moving at all, I mean.
Yeah, I've noticed the same thing already. The people who've killed me are just slowly crabbing. Walk around the corner, ADSing because I don't care, and he's camping with incendiary rounds? You deserve to get shot in the face. There you go, it's for you. That one's for you too.
What's my sidearm? The 1911. Of course it is. I love that gun.
So I'm not gonna out anybody here. Not that it would really matter in our scenario, but I'm just not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
So as you probably know, I think I told you, I recently changed jobs.
Yeah.
I now work in a much more white collar sort of job than I've probably ever had before, which is a strange shift for me. And because of that, the office space or speaking to people inside of the company is a little bit more tippy-toey than what I'm used to. So it's fine. I work from home, so I don't have a lot of face-to-face interactions, and then when I do talk to someone, it's usually work-related, so it's not a problem. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But we do have to go to the office once a week, and I carpool with my friend who got me into the job, and he's a good guy. I have a lot of fun with him, and he's cool. And there's one other guy who works there who seemed cool. Like he seemed like we were going to be able to hang out or whatever. And we all went to go get lunch together the other day, and we are in his truck because he has a big enough vehicle for all of us to ride in. So it's me and him and my friend, and we're sitting there, and I don't remember what we were talking about, and we were eating his food. He's going like, yeah, we had parked, and he's like, yeah, I always get my sushi from Kroger. It's a really good, he said it tastes pretty good and it's pretty cheap. It's not too bad for you. Hey, is anyone gonna have a problem if I pull out my gun right now?
This is
like mid-conversation, I'm like, yeah, you can definitely pull out a gun right now.
Like, while I don't have a problem with the concept, I'm a little worried why you feel you need to.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Well, I actually was just showing my friend because they knew each other well enough to know that they definitely wanted to see a gun. And he did not know me well enough to know if I was going to be okay with seeing a gun. And I was like, I'm very much okay with seeing a gun.
Oh, speaking of which, you need to find a place where you can shoot. Like maybe go to Brian's house. Or Mom's house. We'll say that. And see
The house.
Yeah, and see if he has. I know he has no problem with shooting, but see if he has a space where you can. And you need to go and try the Elisha Dickin drill. Do you know the Elisha Dickin drill?
I don't. It almost feels like there's a joke with that, the way it's phrased, but I'm assuming it's not.
Yeah, no, there's no joke. It's doing what Elisha Dickin did. So you have 15 seconds to draw and shoot 10 shots and get 8 hits from 40 yards.
Okay. I would not be good at that. I am terrible. I've never been a good handgun guy. Just never have. I don't know why. Like, I don't know what the significance is, but I'm just...
You have 3 guys coming to you. Here's a UAV to help you out, but they're all over. They're all over you.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to survive. I have the pistol out because I was trying to quick scope, and I know that I'm not going to get that quick. I couldn't make it. I'm having 2 abysmal rounds in a row because I was going to try with the sniper for a bit. And I'm rusty, apparently. That does sound like something. That looks like oh, this is a change in subject, and I'm sure you've seen it, but that's the whole internet has. The internet only forgives them because of who it is. But you ever watch Keanu Reeves doing his drills?
I haven't seen his drills. I've seen him running the Terran tactical range, and he was doing fantastic.
He's a machine. I was
Yeah.
super impressed. I mean, between like the dedication to the craft there is always inspiring. But I mean, you don't see people in Hollywood embracing it that much.
Yeah.
Because if you do, then you're an awful person out there, I guess. But
Well, see, okay, so right, you don't see it doing quite like that. So, and here's what I mean. Usually, so Hollywood, they always go to Terran, which is really funny because they as much as Hollywood hates people that this happened to, dude had a bunch of dude had a bunch of bad touch allegations. Of course, that's all they were was allegations. But he had a lot of them though. Because one of the things that he liked to do quite a bit was part of his brand was he would hire hot girls to take photo shoots with his guns without wearing a bunch of clothes. That was part of his brand. And one of the girls was like, and he made me take pictures with guns without a bunch of clothes on. And one of the other girls got on and said, "You whore, that was literally what your contract said you were going to be doing." But and that's as far as the allegations got. But and it's like, and he smacked my butt, and the other girl said, "You asked him to." But I mean, it was wound up being really funny. But so I mean, he's
dumb.
So he's kind of like a crappy, a crappy guy. Like, he does, he's not the respectful to women sort, but but it's not like it was, but it's not like the advances were unwanted, But either way, it doesn't matter though. But that guy, Terran, does all the Hollywood stuff, and most of the people he trains get about as much training, around the same amount that Keanu Reeves did. The only thing is for some reason, and I don't know why, Keanu Reeves was the only guy to that they trained to have the style of competitive shooting.
The only one?
Pretty much. They they wanted John Wick to look like a competitive shooter, and everybody else, I guess, because everybody else, they wanted everyone else to look like a cop or look like a soldier, or and so they didn't, but competitive shooting looks the coolest. It's not really the best for a fighting situation, but it looks the coolest, and so they
they wanted to run those drills, yeah. That's cool. I like that. I will say, and this isn't some hot take. I mean, people all over everywhere have said this for a while, but that is one of the very few perfect action movies.
Yeah.
Because even the parts where it gets, you have to get ridiculous in most of these movies for it to be enjoyable, right? Like, if you just watch, I mean, you're not gonna have massive cells off of people in shooting situations just all of a sudden go super tactical and be super, slowly advancing running patterns and everything. You're not gonna see that actually happen, unfortunately. But yeah, even in the scenes where John Wick gets ridiculous, you're like, yeah, this is still the greatest movie of all time. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Even during the really stupid scenes, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Case in point, this thing was it from John Wick 2? I don't know, but where he's downstairs and the bad guy's upstairs and they're just walking, trying to plink at each other with the silent pistols.
Yeah, I think that's from John Wick 2. Like when they're in that club or whatever.
Like they're just walking down the.
They're in a mall. They're in a mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in a mall and they're just like shooting sideways at each other. Yeah, that was a cool scene. Like it's ridiculous and it's technically stupid, but I'm like, that's too cool.
So, if silencers made a gun that silent, the complete and total lack of reaction from the common people is exactly that's how it would be. if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to think of like if it's a really bustling area, maybe you wouldn't notice like and hear that the firing pin and all that kind of stuff that you would have to hear no matter what.
Also, is that if the silencers were as silent as how the movie is making them.
Yeah.
And also even that little bit of a people wouldn't know if people heard it, they wouldn't care. Like it's amazing how crazy, how terribly stupid, among other things, normalcy bias makes people.
What do you mean?
So like, well, okay. So for one thing, so everyone has a terrible lack of awareness, and then add normalcy bias on top of that. Normalcy bias, of course, is the I'm trying to think of how I hit that guy 4 times with my bar.
It's a very bludgeoned man.
Yeah, but this I'll give you an example of normalcy bias. It's like this thing is not the thing that's supposed to be what's happening. Therefore, my mind takes extra time to recognize that it's happening. And my favorite example of that is there were some Australian cops standing there, and someone runs up, grabs one of the cops, and starts stabbing him. And the cop lived through the experience miraculously, and I'm happy. But the cop starts yelling. It was like, ah! And the other cop is just watching this whole thing take place for about 6 seconds. And then moves to engage the guy. He's just watching, and that's what normalcy bias does. It's like when the out of the ordinary happens, your brain, if you're not allowing yourself for the out of the ordinary to happen, your brain can't make sense of it.
Yeah. So I don't think I've heard that term before, but I have definitely seen people who do talk about how to train your mind against that sort of thing. Like what you have to do, like there's this being in this constant state of walking around and thinking about possibilities of what could be happening ridiculous right now all the time. And it's really interesting to do. It's a fun exercise too because it keeps your day-to-day life less boring. But the idea is that when something ridiculous all of a sudden happens, your brain immediately goes, of course, and then you can act quicker. Because it's not like you're going, oh my goodness, this thing is happening. Your brain immediately goes, of course this is happening, and then you just act accordingly.
Yeah, it's like what John Wick said. He said, a lot of people don't have fun living this way, but I have fun living this way, so leave me alone. Said, did I say John Wick? John Lovell. John Lovell. Warrior Poet Society. But he said every time it's like I'm anywhere. He said say I'm at a gas station and I'm waiting in line and then I see the guy in front of me checking out, and where my mind immediately goes is okay, if this guy right here in front of me, if he pulls out a gun and starts to rob the gas station, what am I gonna do?
Hold on 1 second. I'm being quiet for a second.
Uh-huh.
I have to go upstairs and get one of my random devices for my child. Here we go.
TDM at the subpenis.
All right. Yeah, no, it's Here you go, baby. You're welcome, baby. It's oh. Yeah, it'll be fine, baby. I wouldn't worry about it. Well, they're gifts too. That's really cool. I like those.
Okay, is this guy's name Burpin' Up or Burp Pinup?
I think it's whatever you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I think burping up is what I want to go with.
Mm-hmm. Also, kind of like Burp Pinup though.
Burping up. That'd be interesting. You ever see it on the side of a B-52? This giant burping woman.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Rosie the Welder outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Rosie the Welder? Is that right?
Probably.
I don't know.
They have 2 guys. All 3 of their guys are spawned in. I don't know why they don't have a complete team though.
Probably because I still haven't spawned in. Here we go. I think I picked too short range of a weapon. Because I find myself in so many mid-range battles in this map.
This map is one of the maps that I always start off sniping and then typically switch to my automatize after a time.
I go the other way around because I find that people start to camp here more. And I have a better, for me personally, I'm better at stopping people once in that scenario because I can keep a small amount of distance and then pick people off. But this map, people do tend to run out first and then kind of, because they're trying to run to the positions. And the first little bit, most of them get mowed down while they're trying to find that position. And then once they finally break out to there, that's when you have to fish everybody out of all the holes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, baby.
Okay, a bunch of queers out that way.
Baby, I need you to just use your fingers for now then, okay? Because Mama didn't sleep very well last night, partially because she had to get up and get you stuff in the middle of the night. So we're not going to do anything to wake her up right now, okay?
Oh, that should have been a kill. JC Finest. Is that like? It's like so the police is New York's finest. So JC Finest, is that like Jesus Christ's finest?
Could be. I would have just gone with the Crusaders and been done with it, but you know. That was funny.
No, it was pretty good because the Crusaders was Jesus Christ's finest. Haha.
Haha. So, fun fact, you were talking about normalcy bias earlier. I'm going to keep using the word like I knew what it was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
There was a they've done lots of studies on kids who play video games.
Behind us. Hold on. So I take this long range guy out.
We're in this room. In that little steam room behind us. There's 3 or 4 in there.
Yep.
They were, because obviously the argument for.
I'll just clear out the whole room.
While we were still growing up, the general thought was that it was not good for you in any way to play video games. There's no positive aspects of playing a video game. Like, you're not doing anything for your brain. Your brain is dying, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, that doesn't make any sense. We should probably run tests. And so they did. And what they found is, obviously, you got the whole, like, more coordination, activating different parts of your brain depending on what type of game it was. Your the right side of your brain tends to develop better, just because you're using it all the time. and like all that kind of stuff, all the positive things that can come from playing a lot of video games.
Yeah.
But one of the things that they looked into was reactionary time, and not like how quick your hands are, how quickly your mind adjusts to what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, especially think about a game like this, if you are not reacting very, very quickly, you're going to be garbage at this game.
Yeah.
So what you end up with are 8-year-olds who have incredible reactionary time. Because like their mind is so used to the most. I mean, like if you've been playing, you know, if you spent some of your childhood playing Wolfenstein, and something crazy happens at the grocery store, you're gonna react immediately because like a week ago you watched a giant zombie Hitler come up and you had to shoot him with missiles. I mean, like this is nothing. A guy freaking out at a grocery store is pretty normal at this point.
Crap, no, don't die, Sean. Oh, I didn't make it around the corner in time.
I got pinched up pretty hard there.
I feel like I'm doing really well.
You are. I'm doing decent, and I'm decently behind you. Wow.
I don't always feel this way, but I have the feeling of doing well.
You always feel this like you don't always do good. I refuse to believe that he killed me and I didn't get that kill.
Alright, where are these queers?
Well,
Oh good, I got just enough kills at the end to give myself an even 3.0.
Yeah, that's not bad as it turns out.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get play of the game. And it's gonna be my pistol kills. I hope not. It needs to be one of my quickscoping kills. Yep, it's my pistol kills.
It was pretty nasty though. Do you have a scope on your pistol?
I put a sight on it, cause why not?
Cause that's gross. That's why not. Oh hey, honorable mention.
Yay! I didn't notice. Right, I voted for you. Because I love it when people with honorable mention win. Or something ridiculous, like honorable mention or most time near allies.
Most time near allies or most time near enemies, either one is always my favorite thing to see pop up. And that just means the person who got popped up there first on your screen just wrecked the rest of the board.
Well, because think about it. You're, look at the match summary. Look, you have highest score, that was me. Most eliminations, that was me. Highest KD, that was me. And
I was mentioned honorably. Let that marinate for a while.
Oh, but our number 2 guy was 1 kill away from having the same KD as me.
Well, second place loser.
Second place loser. Is that the guy in 3rd place?
Yeah, that's me. I, to this day, have never once pretended to use the watch on my character. So I spent a random watch that just has the time on it. And I'm angry that the time's wrong. Like 6:09? Probably not.
So I just wish that they had the watch in this game that I always use in Modern Warfare. That it's constantly showing your kills and deaths.
That is a good one.
Yeah. That was a duck.
That's pretty good.
I wonder, is it Tin Spanky or Tins Panky?
I have a hard time believing it's Tin's Panky. Just seems off.
All right. This is one of the maps that I always start off with the automaton. Also, I never know, when I open my mouth, I never know if it's going to come out of my mouth as automaton or automaton.
We'll just see how this next few seconds takes us.
What am I gonna say this time? That's the funny thing about being me. I never know what I'm gonna say next.
Sometimes I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Well, I've been killed by campers twice already, so this map is going exactly like it always does. Speaking of things that I tend to pronounce wrong randomly for no reason at all, do you remember Buakaw?
Remember what?
Buakaw.
Bulakaw? I don't.
B-U-A-K-A-W. Buakaw.
No.
Okay. Do you remember that show that we used to watch all the time, whenever we could? That was basically those two, like, ex-Marines or whatever they were, going to different countries and learning their main martial art.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know if you remember the name or not. So Buakaw is one of the most legendary Muay Thai fighters of all time, and he was like late 90s, 2000s, and he was actually in that video of the Muay Thai one, because it was like they went to his gym, because most of the gyms in Thailand for Muay Thai are actually very corrupt, and it's a bunch of people stealing kids' money from fights. So they actually went to the gyms that weren't corrupted, and Buakaw's gym was the main one. I didn't know if you remember the name or not. So he's like, he would be one of mine and Sean's favorite people, because the only thing that we thought was worth studying when we were kids as far as martial arts was Muay Thai. Which, by the way, it's pretty great. But they, I think, is it Joe Vincent? That's the guy who does the, like, really dramatic videos about sports stars and fighting stars and stuff. I think it's Joe Vincent.
I believe you.
He makes great videos. The edits are phenomenal, and they're just really entertaining. But the ones he does on people who are fighters are the best ones, because they're exciting. He finally came out for one for Buakaw, and I watched it last night, and it's phenomenal. I forget how nasty he is. But I'll have to share these two videos with you. They're not super short. I think they're about 20 minutes and change a piece. But there's the two greatest Muay Thai fighters of all time is him and Sanchez. I always say his name wrong. But he was the other guy that I idolized for MMA, or not for MMA, because it's not MMA, it's just Muay Thai. But Buakaw he fought in kickboxing tournaments, and Sanchez only fought in Muay Thai, and he's like an undefeated Thai fighter. Giggity. And I was watching one of his videos yesterday, and he is the person who is credited for inventing the crescent kick, or not the crescent kick, the cartwheel kick. And so it was like God took him doing that. He executes the most beautiful question mark kick I've ever seen, and the guy delay knockouts. Like, he kicks the guy, and the guy like gets out of the clinch and smiles at him, and like kind of starts to raise his hand, like, wow, good job, that was a heck of a kick, I'm even going to recognize that. And then as he's raising his hand to recognize the kick, you watch his eyes cross, and he just falls over. And it is just the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Especially you have enough understanding of physiology to know what happened there.
Yeah, that's to understand what happened to that guy. And then also, a question mark kick is really hard to execute, because it's more just fooling your opponent. Because a question mark kick is you're feinting like a side kick, or maybe even a high leg kick, and then you change the angle of your hip, bend your leg back in at the knee, and then all of your momentum comes from snapping your leg back from the knee to deliver the kick. You're no longer getting the turn in your body. You are now just using that. So it's a hard kick to generate a lot of force with. It's a hard kick to aim. It's a hard kick to pull off. And then when you hit the people with it, you are generally going for the more Muay Thai kick, where when you actually kick them in the head, it's almost like it's the side of your ankle that's doing the majority of the damage. You're not even kicking them with your shin or your foot anymore, which is the Muay Thai kick is the shin kick. We're kicking the shin.
Yeah. Well, that's not just in Muay Thai, but yeah, that's how they teach you to kick in Muay Thai. But lots of martial arts use shin kicks.
But that's the art of the 8 limbs. The two of your limbs are your two shins. Like, they don't say your feet, they say your shins.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of an off kick from Muay Thai because you're aiming, you are now trying not to hit with your shin anymore. And you just, in this clip, watch just this guy at the end of the question mark kick. It was clearly aimed this way. He just gets the top of his head grazed, it looks like in the clip, obviously it's not grazed, by the underside of Sanction's ankle. And it's so flawless. Like, it's just a thing of beauty. I'll send you the clip and the timestamp to just watch that if you don't have time to watch the video, but it's disgusting. I know I'm saying his name wrong. As soon as I pull up the video and send it to you, I'll be like, hi, here's why I'm saying it. That wasn't me.
Okay. Oh, I had a quad feed there. Didn't even realize it.
I don't have anything happening for me right now. I've been doing garbage. This is my third round in a row of being dog water. Dog water. I got a Kingslayer kill. That's good. Wow, third round in a row of being garbage.
Such a pretty kill, I guess. I had a heck of a comeback that round.
I did not. Which is why I'm not in this list. Please choke him with those bullets. That'd have been cool.
I don't know who the bearded eye patch man is.
Me either.
I think he's supposed to be a person from popular fiction because of his animations are so specific. It has to be based on something that people would typically know.
He looks like Solid Snake. Or not Solid Snake, Boss Snake.
Yeah. I don't know which Snake he looks like. I don't play those games. They're cool, but I don't have fun with them. I don't think I've ever played a single Kojima game from beginning to end, ever. That was Kojima, wasn't it? He made those, right?
Yeah,
no one else could have thought that up.
Yeah. I can't say that I've ever beaten a Metal Gear Solid game. I started several. Like the originals from PS1, I remember starting after I found out that PS3s had backwards compatibility. Well, I mean, I knew that in the beginning, but you could go get a copy of one for relatively cheap. Like, I started a couple, I think the first two, but yeah, they're just not exciting for me.
Yeah. Okay, so this guy here currently in the in the deal, Pepe Le Pew. He was the heaviest camper out of everyone in the last match.
The guy on our team?
Have you already started?
No.
No. Okay. Oh, you asked the guy. Oh no, he was on the opposing team.
Gotcha.
Last match, and he was the heaviest camper of all time. Which, there's something about this, and this was the case in starting with Modern Warfare, and then in Cold War, and then again in this game. I knew from the onset he was gonna be a camper, because you see like these two symbols to the right of his name.
I don't see anything. It hasn't loaded for me yet.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so to the right of his name there are two symbols. One is a controller icon and one is a PlayStation logo. That controller icon invariably designates a camper.
So you are literally referring to the two symbols besides my name, and I've never camped. So bite me.
Okay, fine. Occasional variable. Not quite invariably.
Man.
I guess let me...
Oof.
Yeah, let me rephrase this. I have seen plenty of console players that didn't camp. I have never seen a gaggle of campers that weren't on console.
Yeah, it is kind of strange to see, because we're all playing games, right? We're all gaming. But it is so funny, the difference in the, I guess I'll just say, culture between console and PC players, because it is very different, and it's odd to see it.
Well, I mean, we're the master race, so...
I think it's really funny because I've tried to be. I feel like I'm a very objective person, so I can definitely say without any question, obviously PC gaming is superior. You have a superior machine. You have superior things you can do with that machine. You have more options available to you because you have. I mean, you can't like mod a PlayStation game, right? Not really. Like, there's some stuff you probably could do to really dig deep into the weeds of the system and do something.
Pretty much save file editing is about it.
Yeah, and it's not crazy, right? It's pretty simple stuff. So the capabilities are just there. But I mean, it's just the ease for me, because if I'm playing a game, that's like my wind down.
Yeah, UAV.
So like if I'm in a wind down mode, like say I just finished work and I go downstairs and I get a glass of water and I'm grabbing a bite to eat and I've got some time to like just go off and play a game, I want to like lean back on my couch, just grab the controller that's next to my head and turn on my TV, and then I'm already within a minute or two I'm playing a game and I'm as relaxed as I can be. I'm not here to be like, I don't care about like the competition winning aspect of like, I'm going to be better, I have this thing, we're going to do this because I've got all this stuff. I just want to relax and unwind. And console gaming is, I will always argue that console gaming is twice as relaxing as PlayStation gaming.
Console gaming is way more relaxing than PlayStation gaming. Also, I said gaming. Also, I don't.
Yamming.
Saved your life.
What were you doing, bud? I killed him.
You got the points for it, but I got the red hit marker, which means I actually delivered the final blow.
We all both know that doesn't matter in this game.
That's true.
Which is dumb.
No,
by the way.
You got the elimination, but I killed him.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think it's kind of stupid. I get why they did it on one hand, because you're like, they just kill stole from me, but I'm like, well.
So
whatever.
Okay, so I like it like if you did it like the to the level of what?
Sniper in the trees.
Yeah, I'll get him.
Outside of the cave tunnel. I'm out there. I'm gonna try to find him. But continue.
Yeah, if you did it like to the level of assist counts as kill.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was good. To the extent that they did it in Battlefield. That was very good, I think, but it could have been way. But yeah, like in this game, if you deal any damage, you get the elimination. I guess so. Let's see. Actually, I like how they do it in this game, right? If you do any damage, you get the elimination, but you have to actually get the kill for it to count for your kill streak. I think I like that.
I don't know that I paid enough attention to realize that's how it worked, that you can get towards your kill streak. I never noticed that.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to deal. If you deal the final blow, you get credit towards your kill streak, but if you deal any damage, you get credit for the elimination.
I guess I don't hate that as much as I thought I did then, because that's respectable. Because I mean, if you do all of the work and you don't get the number, I guess it is kind of annoying. Like, I don't care enough, but I can see how it can be annoying, especially if you're like you know, especially if you're a run and gun player, and like you lose out on kills because of that, and someone's like finishing off a kill, and you're doing all the legwork for your team, but you're not getting the stats to show that you are. Then okay, but I just don't care.
Yeah, so I guess the absolute perfect system would be this. Something like the assist counts as kill system like they have in Battlefield, which is you get credit for the actual kill, whatever that looks like, if you deal at least 80% of the damage.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're doing all the work on that, then yeah, of course.
And then... Oh man, I'm 2 kills off dogs.
And then you're any number of kills off of looking pretty darn good this round.
There we go. Just for the fun of it, dogs and bombing run. Just for the heck of it. It's at the end of the match, but...
Oh no, that's fine. You're. I hope you get a kill. Yeah, you did. Okay. So, I don't know if you've been paying attention to your KDR.
I haven't looked a single time.
Don't look yet.
Okay.
Okay. Now look.
Holy crap!
You did all right.
I'll take the hard carry. Hey, but you got to play the game though.
I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, this isn't good. It's not a good play. I just got 3 people who weren't paying enough attention. Like that guy, I don't know how he didn't kill me.
Wow. So I was feeling good about that match, but I had absolutely no clue that I was doing that.
I just had a not bad round. You had what? Well over half our kills.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, close to 2/3 actually. Yeah. I was 7 kills shy of having 2/3 of the kills.
I need to take a break to take a dump.
Okay.
Actually, do you want to leave it there? We've been on for over an hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Bye.